Everybody, Michelle Jacobic here from Prosperity After Divorce. I am a certified divorce financial analyst, and I walk with people that are considering the transition of divorce or who are actually going through the transition of divorce. And the role that I play is one of an adversary and educational role. My goal is to help clients figure out if what they're considering in terms of settlement or options that they're talking through in mediation are really fair and equitable based on what the divorce team or lawyers or litigators or even just the two of you, if you're trying to figure some things out, look like when you put them on paper. Sometimes what we think is fair and equitable turns out not to be. And I think it's super important that when you are dividing assets and trying to figure out how you're going to go your separate ways, that you are making sure that you have as much information as you can about the process. So, what I want to do in this video today is just talk to you about my checklist in terms of getting started. And I like to have people use this list of questions to start setting goals around their divorce and separation. So before you start negotiations with your spouse, you need to be able to ask yourself some of these pointed questions. And you can actually request this from me at michellejacobic.com. I can send you a copy so that you'll actually have a written checklist, but wanted to just go over some of the things that I ask people to think about and have you write them down, or at least think about them and then maybe reach out for some additional support. So the first one is you need to think about who is going to stay in the home pre-divorce, before the papers are signed. What have you guys agreed in terms of who's going to stay in the marital home? Secondly, who will pay the mortgage and other day-to-day regular expenses such as gas, electricity, homeowner taxes, insurance, and home repairs while you're apart? One of you may be living in the house with the kids, one of you may have exited, but what is the agreement that you're going to come to in terms of the expenses and the things that are going to happen in that home while you're trudging through the process of the divorce proceedings? The third thing is, does one of you want to keep the home post-divorce? Is that in the plan? And the next question along with that is, if the home is underwater, meaning that if you owe more on the mortgage than what the home is currently worth, do you have a strategy for handling that situation? Fifth, how will you share the money in your joint bank accounts? Sixth, how will you share assets such as stocks and bonds and retirement accounts? You need to consider that there's maybe a pension, there may be a 403b, there may be money that was put into individual retirement accounts or deferred comp at work. You're going to need to sort out how you're going to handle sharing those assets and which ones are marital property and which ones are separate property if you haven't been accumulating all of those funds within the married years. Also, how will you handle current debts? Are you even familiar and up to date on what your debts are? I normally recommend to people that they pull credit reports so that something that they may not be aware of might be hidden on a credit report that a spouse has. I had a client that just pulled credit reports and found that there was $19,000 of credit card debt that she had no idea that her husband had run up. They were on store cards, so Home Depot, Lowe's, different Best Buy. Super easy. These particular companies are great about offering buyers and consumers 12 months same as cash, some really great deals. And what I find is that people take advantage of those and then end up sometimes not able to take care of them. So there may be debt that you're not familiar with. So you need to think about student loan debt, credit card debt, car loan debt, and really come up with a list of those current debts and figure out how you're going to handle those as well. Will one or both of you be contributing to a college fund if you have kids, and how will the payments be made? What are you going to agree to in terms of educational cost for your children, as well as secondary costs, maybe tutoring, special classes, SAT prep, and those types of things. So I think that you need to be thinking about, if there's children, any area of education that you guys need to negotiate out. Also, how will you share the responsibility for the care and raising of the children, joint custody, sole custody, shared custody? And then when will the children be staying with each of you? Having a parenting plan and guidelines that you're going to hammer out is a super big part of this process. And you don't want to get hung up at the 11th hour. You want to start talking about these things now as you're trying to work through this process. Also, will you continue to file joint income tax returns? Are there taxes due or other problems pertaining to joint returns that will surface after the divorce that you really need to be addressing in the division of property and liabilities? You want to talk to your accountant or other tax professional about this. If you don't have access to the tax returns, one of the things that you can do is go to the IRS website and actually request a copy of the transcripts. I actually recommend that you get the IRS transcripts, not just the tax returns. In doing analysis, I've actually seen people alter tax returns and hand them over to the spouse that hadn't seen them, only to find out that when we ordered the transcripts, somebody had actually went in and redid the tax returns with faulty information. So ordering the transcripts for your last 3 years of tax returns is going to be super important. If there is no business, if there's a business, you're going to want more information, all the schedules and whatnot. So again, working with a professional to make sure that they have your best interest and digging all of these things up will be super important for you. Will one of you be paying spousal maintenance to the other or child support maintenance? How much will it be? Will it be in the form of a lump sum or periodic payments? When will the payments end? Um, you want to take note that how you choose to pay maintenance can affect your tax status. You want to check with a lawyer on how best to handle this. I'm actually going to do a whole separate video about taxation, but one of the big changes that's happening in January 2019 is that currently anybody that is divorced in 2018, the person who's paying alimony is able to deduct those payments off of their income when they file their taxes, and the person receiving the alimony has to report it as earned income or income on their tax return. In 2019 and going forward, any divorces that had happened, that taxation in and out is actually going away. So it's super important when you're figuring out negotiations around spousal support, how you're going to handle either the fact that you're not going to have to be paying taxes on the money if you're receiving, and you're not going to be able to deduct the payments if you are paying. Who is going to be the one paying child support to the other, if anything? How much and when will the payments be made and how? Will they be made until the child turns 18, when they leave home, when they complete college? And then how will the payments be made? Will they be made direct deposit? Will they be made through maybe an app like Smart Co-Parent, one of the apps that I highly recommend, where you can have payments going back and forth for reimbursements and child support as well. Who will be responsible for the debts either of you incur while you're separated? Okay, you need to be thinking about that. And then what about your joint credit cards? Should you consider freezing them ASAP? If there's a chance that your spouse is going to run up big charges on them pre-divorce, I highly recommend that you cancel the joint credit cards and start in your own name a credit card. I find that so many people end up putting their attorney's fees and the cost of divorce on credit cards because of the fact that they freeze assets, and they don't want to burn through their savings. So this is one of the methods that they use, and you don't want to end up having divorce litigation costs and whatnot put on a credit card that you're going to be made responsible for. So you want to be thinking about that. Also, who's going to keep the family home, the car, the boat, the washing machine, the couch, the gym equipment? How will you be splitting big ticket items as well as furnishings in the home? And then lastly on my checklist is who will pay for the legal fees? Will you each be responsible for retaining and paying for your own lawyer? Are you going to be splitting the cost of the mediation if you're hiring a mediator or doing some collaborative process? But this is just a basic starting point. If you are interested in having a copy of this checklist emailed to you, you can reach out to me via my website at michellejacobic.com. That's MICHELLEJACO, B like boy, IK.com.